It's 30 years since the last coal mine on Cannock Chase closed as part of the national programme of pit closures. More than 500 miners lost their jobs at Littleton Colliery, bringing an end to hundreds of years of mining heritage in the area. Louise Briley has been speaking to some of the people who worked there.
On the 10th of December 1993, hundreds of miners took part in this march to mark the end of Littleton Colliery. 30 years on, some still feel the closure was a mistake.
I still firmly believe it was purely a political motive by the then government, because the industry, they didn't like it.
It was a huge employer in the Staffordshire village of Huntington. Nearly 2,000 miners worked there at its height.
You could see where all the coal had been extracted.
For some, it was more than just a job. It was a second home.
When you got down the pit, it's a different home, and you feel comfortable. Quite a lot of people would think you must be insane to be in such, but I really enjoyed it. It's hard to believe that I actually enjoyed it.
Of course, it came with its dangers.
Well, I remember the date well. June the 17th, 1971, I got buried by a fall of rock on the way end, as we call it. And fortunately, I had some good friends, good mates, that helped get me out.
One of Littleton's best-known former miners is Lord Patrick McLaughlin. He worked there for 6 years before being elected as an MP and later becoming Transport Secretary.
I was a known Conservative and very proud of my politics. There was quite a lot of leg-taking and I was called a few things. It just got me prepared for politics at a more senior level in due course.
A difficult year in the history of the pit was the miners' strike of 1984-5. It divided communities. Some, like Ron, walked out for a full year.
There was a lot of bitterness and a lot of hard times at the time. I got on with life when I got back to work.
Others crossed the picket line on day one.
Those people who have been out on strike all the time weren't very forgiving of those people who broke the picket line. And the reason why I didn't go on strike was because we'd had a ballot at Littleton, and the ballot was to continue working.
After it closed, Ron and Ray served on the parish council and helped to shape the regeneration of the area. This memorial garden, featuring a pit wheel, is a symbol of Huntington's proud past.
Some people wanted to put industrial units here, and we said no way. And the idea was then for the school, the doctor's surgery, houses, village green.
Lifelong friendships were made down the pit. Ron and Ray still go for a drink every Friday with other ex-miners.
And it's nice when you can sit down to talk about the old times.
The camaraderie created by coal lives on. Louise Briley, BBC Midlands Today, Cannock.
That's fascinating.